Hey there, this is bigSHow, the awesome God. That's right, awesome God. First time I've said that on the cast. I wrote I wrote a description on why or where that came from, and you would say, when you say bigSHow the God, saying you're a God implies everything. Implies you're awesome, implies you're great, implies you're amazing, implies you're extraordinary, supernatural, all this sort of. Just saying God is supposed to encompass all that, right? So in a sense, adding anything else to it shouldn't be required. But I point out that humans are too stupid to realize that that's implied. But not only that, I think adding that word, if it has meaning to me, reiterates the mindset. So calling myself a God, that's the start. And now the awesome God. Is another level. It's a level of clarity, so that the audience of whoever I'm saying something to, instead of having just, it's everything. You can have the nasty God, the terrible God, the dangerous God. You can have any word in front. Saying you're a God, actually, it's quite loose. So this sort of adds a little bit of focus, a little bit of clarity in to a wide context, which, in my opinion, you have better creativity with some type of constraints, some type of borders, some type of boundaries, but you're not limited to those boundaries, but you kind of are. And that's where God's a bit of a problem. Is God's sort of got this infinite kind of point out, whereas I've just narrowed it with one word. I'm an awesome God. Didn't really say a lot, really, but added some emotion to that same word, which I think is important. So yeah, that was the awesome God speech. So thought today, my title was pretty loose as well. So I get over that. And I was going to talk about levels. Levels of understanding. And I find this fascinating. Just as an example, is when people say to me, or I say to other people potentially, they have some awareness to the past, something in the past, and they've realized they've been holding on to it, or it's been affecting them indirectly, subconsciously. Maybe an event happened. It wasn't supposed to be a big event, but it's impacted on me later on, and then I've self-analyzed that and realized it, like through your actions. Like if I haven't rung my brother lately, it's from how I felt when I last spoke to him, or the time before, and or the way he spoke, or the way, something like that. And then it lingers on, timeline goes by, it's 3-4 years, and you say, no, I'm over that now. Because why? Because I'm talking to that person now, today, and in that same speech you'll say, I've moved on, I've gotten over that, I'm better now, moved on. Things like, I've gotten over it, gotten over that. And it's all in the context of positivity, right? It's almost like I'm fixed to an extent, which that little piece of evidence may suggest that, but it quickly happens again, right? So the levels of this. So if we do that for an example, so with your brother, say, or your sister, or a family member, what about everyone else? Or everything else. Okay. This is where I get into transferring. Transferring awareness across pillars. I call them pillars. So it's just my observation, is that someone will point out that fact, that how great that was, we're now talking more. And so that's those two individuals. Yet, how do you have the self-awareness to realize that that's not the only place I'm doing it? Right? And then what happened in the process to get you feeling secure again, or respected again, or what feelings went through that motion to have you comfortable being in each other's space again, potentially, or are we not talking about that subject that separated us, or separated me? Because sometimes it's I'm only in control of my issue, right? So I'm wary when I say I've moved on from it, I'm okay with it, I'm over it. I think the levels of understanding required to go, have you actually worked on and practiced the actual pieces that make the difference of why you changed your actions, or why you didn't go up and see that person again. You know, it's almost like my values changed in that sentence. But really it's coming back to levels of understanding and levels that I'm willing to practice. Did we put it on the table? Did we talk it out? Do we talk it out regularly? Are we continuing to talk it out? Or am I continuing to let it, oh, that's bothering me, but it's okay. I won't say anything. And then another one comes, another example. So there's 4 examples. No, I went up there again. I had to pay for something. I had to do something. I did that, but I'm not talking about it. I'm over it, remember? But I'm not over it, you know. This is bothering me, but it's better because I'm still seeing him. You see? So it's festering there. And it's only while you've got that up in the front, you're appreciating that I've got him here, that you're willing to like overlook the things that are annoying you for that, in that example. But the reality is you're not. Are you honestly okay that I paid for all that? Are you honestly okay with how you're seeing, or how you're being treated, or how you're being talked to? Because that only takes a little bit to start layering it again. And in my opinion, I've got the understanding. It's the practicing to keep my levels of what I would suggest, levels of energy maintained. So speaking out regularly within the context of the communication, not to be one-sided about it, but to have it there. I think's the big bit. So the practicing part is important. Oh, let's get. So the practicing. So what are we practicing, right? So we're practicing communication. Which is probably the single most biggest bit, is the communication. And the communication to practice communication takes a lot. So it's consistent. I mean, you can call it consistent or regular. Regular communication, feedback, curious, being curious, asking questions, or actually being interested. That's what I thought curious shows, being interested, if we want to put some context around what I mean. Not easy. Feedback. Both ways. Practicing that. Right? So if you don't have that frame, and if you're not practicing those things, you're just sort of sticking to the level. And that's why I start getting a little bit thing, is that I don't know if everybody's capable of that. They're capable to a level, to to an extent. But in my experience with people, what I'm speaking of, there'll be a level of basics there, you know. And the basic level I've encountered, which is why I kind of have this mindset, is a happy birthday is about as far as that's, to some people, showing all those three things there, that you're valued. When I say happy birthday, when I say Merry Christmas, when I say Happy New Year, that ticks all those three boxes, and for me it doesn't. And so you have to be over and above or void of that, and to be being interested in me, and I have to be interested in you. And if I'm not, it's difficult to communicate consistently, regularly. I'm not interested in you. It's just true. Now, you can be interested in someone and value someone, but not communicate. Doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. So yeah. I think that's a good little level of digitizing what I meant by levels of understanding. I don't want to be, I think the intelligence level is difficult, but I just think that's part of your personality too, not totally your intelligence. I think it's there's still a level of what you're interested in again. You know, not everyone has that capacity, which is another thing to understand. That's the level of understanding I have. Doesn't stop me doing it. What helps in having this level of understanding is that when I communicate, I can't be. It reduces my feelings of rejection, my feelings of frustration, of being disappointed, because that's blaming someone else, of my feelings of expectations, having expectations on other people. Just because I do this, I share with someone else, they start doing it, and then they're not doing it, as far as being consistent to what I think is consistent. Have they not been that regular with them? There's no feedback. I'm the one providing feedback. I'm the one pushing it. I'm the one doing it. Well, and so if you hold your expectations, you hold your own self accountable, then you're practicing it either way, right? And generally progress comes out of that. Well, that's what I've gotten to today, to be honest. That's what keeps me being able to communicate and share and without expectation. It's like giving a gift. I buy someone something tomorrow, and I have zero expectation. I can just go, that's happened. Because I planned it, I chose it, I decided to. Comes with no rules, comes with no expectations. So then, this empowers that person if they do something different, if they do appreciate it, if they do, it's fucking a bonus. It shows their integrity, it shows themselves. It wasn't an expectation of mine. There may be some judgment come through it. I'm not void of judgment. I'm void of judging what I did or didn't do. But there's no expectation of something that I chose to do that you now need to what? Do more.